This is part 2 of my 2024 makeup favourites. If you haven't watched it yet, part 1 is the last video that I uploaded, and that was everything from primer all the way up to eyeliner. And today's video is going to be mascara, blush, highlighter, powder and lip products. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, please keep watching or listening. And maybe you're doing something where you can just throw this on in the background and hear me just ramble on about the rest of my 2024 makeup favourites. So let's go, let's get into it. When I listed all the mascaras that I've used this year, there were 3 that stuck out to me. And again, if you've watched any of my videos, you can probably tell which ones they are. 2 of them are from the same brand, and this is a brand that is probably one of my brands of the year. It's such a good brand and I've loved all the products that I've tried from them, and that is Sweed. So I have the Sweed Cloud Mascara, which is this one obviously, and then the Pro Lash Lift. I had to dig these out of my empties recycling bag because they have been kind of dried up for a while now. But this is the Cloud Mascara. So it's kind of like a rubberized, tapered wand. This is like more for if you want volume and kind of bigger lashes, I would say. And then the Pro Lash Lift is more of a kind of, I suppose, fanned out, lifted. If you don't like using like an eyelash curler, or you find that your lashes are a little bit more straight, this is really good at giving your lashes like a lift. Such an unusual wand, but it is just a really lovely kind of fluttery mascara, a little bit more daytime, I would say, or if you like something a bit more subtle, whereas the Cloud is a little bit more impactful. I had this one in dark brown and this one in black, but they both come in both. So if you are looking for a really good mascara, I have to say that these are excellent. Such great mascaras. Depending on what you want, you might like one or the other. I like both, and it was actually nice to have both and kind of compare the 2 of them, but they're just such great formulas. And these are another one that was kind of like hyped up for me and like totally exceeded the hype. 100% love these, and I would say if you do want to try them, they often do like a discount code or some kind of like a promotion on their website. They also are available on Cult Beauty and Space NK, and you can usually get them with 20% off. So really excellent mascaras. Final mascara, which is going to be a surprise to no one, the Eldridge Kitten Lash. This again I had to dig out of my empties because it's like dried out. That is the wand, again a kind of a rubberized one, slightly curved and a little bit tapered. It's unlike any mascara I've tried before because it kind of does a bit of both. You can apply one layer and it's very fanned out and defining and lengthening, and then if you add another layer or 2, it brings more volume, but it doesn't get clumpy and it doesn't get that kind of like heavy look. It lifts and fans out your lashes and just makes your eyelashes look beautiful. The one thing that I really noticed about this was that the formula, it literally didn't dry out until maybe like 5 months into it. Like I was using this for 6 months and it didn't start to dry out until about 5 months in, and the formula stayed consistent the whole time until it started to kind of get a little bit dry. So despite the fact that it's I think €35, so it's, you know, about €10 more expensive than the Sweed ones, but it did outlast them. The formula was just so consistent, which is very rare. In fact, I don't think I've ever used a mascara where the formula has stayed the same for like the majority of the time that I've used it. Normally with a mascara you will get it will be like maybe a little bit too wet at the start and then it will kind of gradually dry out, but this just was really consistent, and therefore you're obviously getting like really good value for money. And the fact that it is like buildable, you can, you know, apply one layer and you get this like really nice defined eyelashes, but then you can also build it up and it can be very dramatic when you build it up. So I just think this is very versatile and really good value for money because of how well it lasts. So even though it's, you know, a little bit more on the expensive side, you might prefer it because you're getting more value for your money. So I just think that this is excellent. One of the best mascaras that I've ever tried. Just such a great mascara, and I really miss it. Like I really was so tempted to buy one in the Space NK sale, and I was like, no, you have like 3 or 4 mascaras, so you don't need another mascara. But just so great. Another category that I really love, and that's blush. I have had this like journey with blush this year where I have acquired a number of new blushes, and I have been trying to find the perfect shade, and I don't think I've found it yet, but I have found quite close. I ordered a lot of K Beauty blushes, and to be honest, I haven't used any of them apart from the one I'm going to mention. I haven't used any of them enough for them to become a favourite and for me to really know what I think about them like fully. So I want to use them a little bit more, but I'll start with the one that I really love, and this is the Lilybyred Love Beam Cheek Balm. Obviously the packaging is so cute. The only thing I don't like about this is kind of hard to open. Like if you have any kind of mobility issues, you might find it a bit frustrating to open, but it's such a nice kind of a dusty pinky peach, and the formula, like it's that kind of balmy formula, creamy balm, where it's just so easy to use, and it's a real like face brightening shade. So that was definitely one that I recommend if you are like doing a K Beauty order. That's such a lovely brush, and I think they have maybe like 6 shades. Yeah, the formula and the shade of that I just think are really gorgeous, and it's the one that I found myself reaching for a lot over the summer, especially because it's that kind of like peachy pink. And the one that I mentioned earlier is Heartist. So this is his Colour Fluid formula, which is a multi-purpose product, but I use this mostly as blush because I just love it. It's a neutral pink, slightly warm leaning pink, but it is just such a beautiful shade. Because it's so pigmented, I tend to mix it with a liquid highlighter because I just find that on its own it can, if you put it on its own, it's quite pigmented, so it's kind of hard to blend it out quickly enough for it not to kind of like set on your face. So I like to mix it with a liquid highlighter, but it's just such a nice pink shade, and I kind of just find it's one of those blush shades that kind of goes with any look, and again like really face brightening and works really well on my skin tone. But if you have a deeper skin tone, you could just apply it on its own, or maybe with like a small bit of like a mixing product. I tend to put a lot of the highlighter in because it is quite pigmented and I'm so pale. So yeah, again, a really versatile one. This is actually a lovely liquid shadow for your eyes as well. Another liquid blush, which is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch, and this is the shade Encourage. I wasn't like hugely crazy about it at first, but then I think I got to like it more and more. It's hard to see with these lights, but I will insert a clip of me applying it. But it is, again, it's very pigmented, so I do tend to mix it with a liquid highlighter, but it is that kind of like slightly mauve cool toned blush, and I mean it's gonna last you for ages because it's so pigmented. You can actually get minis of these, which I think are probably a better idea, but it is just a gorgeous blush and it just works really well on my skin tone. And again, because it's so pigmented, if you had a deeper skin tone you could use it and just kind of apply a little bit more. But yeah, top blush is the Florasis Peony Dream Cream Blush. This says cream blush, but it's actually powder, and it's kind of hard panned on me because I've used it so much, but it's that kind of like a little bit of a terracotta, really lovely summer blush. It really kind of looks like sun-kissed, that kind of shade, but it's just such a lovely formula. It has a little bit of like a minuscule gold micro shimmer in it, but I find it's just really flattering on my skin tone. I don't tend to love really warm blushes, but I just find that this is like the right amount of like a kind of a muted, dusky, peachy, kind of sun-kissed shade. Just a really great shade and formula, and it's such a cute little package as well. I definitely recommend that one. I just think it's great if you like a powder blush and you like a warm shade. That's beautiful. The last blush is kind of a weird one. This is the Lancome Blush Subtil Powder Blush, and this is the shade 373 Aplum. This is it. As you can see, it is a lot more cool toned, but it's just such a lovely shade on my skin tone. It's quite pigmented, so you only need a really small amount, but I just love this shade. I would love this shade in like a liquid or cream, but I haven't found it yet. But I'm actually wearing it today, but the lights, I just wouldn't even, the lights are not great. So yeah, highly recommend that if you are a little bit more cool leaning or you like a cool blush. It is such a gorgeous shade and a really nice formula as well. The penultimate category is highlighter, and I have three. These are kind of three highlighters, but they're multi-purpose. So the first one is almost gone, and I've just repurchased a new bottle. You can see how much is left here. This is a Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow, and this is the shade Pink Moon, so there's like a little bit left there. So this is actually the third bottle of this product that I've finished. This is such a great formula for anyone because it's not hugely pigmented. It's very sheer. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. It's so flattering. It's so forgiving. It's one of those products that I think would work on anyone. My mom has used this. My sister has used it. My mom's friends have used it. My mom just said like this is like, people have asked her what she's wearing because they've loved how it looks, because it's just such a nice highlighter. Like if you are in any way self-conscious about any fine lines or texture or anything, this is the highlighter to get, because it's, I don't know what it is about the formula. It has that ingredient in it that's in her foundation as well, but it basically kind of like forms a film, I think, on your skin. I don't know what it is, but it just looks so, it just looks beautiful on your skin. It makes your skin look amazing. So this is a shade Pink Moon. I've also had Crystal Nebula and Cosmic Rose, and they've worked on me, but they're this is it here, sorry. But it is, you know, as you can see, you can blend it and kind of make it a little bit more sheer. There's no sparkle. It's just a really beautiful like pearl finish. You can use it under foundation. You can use it over foundation on your cheekbones. You can use it mixed in with liquid blush, which is what I do like almost every day that I'm wearing like a liquid blush. And you can use it maybe to highlight your inner corner or put on your lips. It's just so versatile, and the bottle lasts for ages. And like, I mean, it will tell you, because I, despite the fact that I have other highlighters, I repurchased this because I just like, I can't be without it. It's just such an excellent product. A top tier product for me. I just think there's no other liquid highlighter that looks so beautiful on the skin, so natural. It just gives you, it kind of just gives you your best skin, and I just don't think there's no product that I found that's as good as this. So highly recommend. Another one that's a similar idea, but it's a little bit more, I would say the Lisa Eldridge one is like a category of its own. It's like a league of its own. I would say this one is maybe a little bit more like the likes of the Hollywood Flawless Filter, the e.l.f. Halo Glow, that kind of thing, where it's a little bit more pigment to it. And that's the Auric Glow Lust. I am halfway through my second bottle of this. Yeah, it has more pigment in it than the Lisa Eldridge. The Lisa Eldridge one is here, so you can kind of see the sheen on my skin. And then this is the shade Morganite, so you can see how much more pigment that has. I'm actually after blending it into that blush, but it has more pigment in it. But again, it's not glittery, it's not chunky, it has like a pearl to it. So that to me is more of a liquid highlighter or a product that I would mix with blush than the Lisa Eldridge, which I could use as a highlighter or a primer. So you can kind of see it's a little bit more heavy duty than the Elevated Glow, but it's again really beautiful product, really flattering on the skin, and just gives such a nice sheen without looking like you're obviously wearing a product. Again, I love it for its versatility. You can wear it on its own, or you can wear it under foundation if you wanted to kind of do like that underpainting, like extra bit of glow under your foundation. But you know, as you can see there, I mean, there is a lot in this. What is it? 35 ml, and I have gone through, this is my second bottle and I'm halfway through it. This is only available on their website and on Beautylish, so if you buy it from the Auric website, you will have to pay shipping and taxes. I think it's not as expensive if you buy from Beautylish, but if it sounds like the kind of product you like, I can't recommend it enough. I just think it's such a great product. Again, it's rare for me to repurchase a makeup product because I don't run out of them. But the fact that I used a whole bottle of this and I have half of this one gone, I think says a lot. So this and the Lisa Eldridge are like top tier highlighters for me, and it's going to depend on your preference which one you like. You might like both of them like I do, but you might prefer something with a little bit more of a pigment in it, or you might prefer something that's a little bit more subtle like the Lisa Eldridge. So another top product for me. Finally, we have another product that I got at the end of last year. Maybe I got it in October or November, I can't remember, but it is the KJH.Brand Hyper Shine Highlight Kit, and this is the shade Light Pink. This isn't a product that I used as often as the other two highlighters. It is a little bit more pinky, whereas the other two are probably a bit more neutral. So it does have that pinky glow. But I like that you can customize the shine that you want from this depending on how much of the serum you put into it. So you can make it really sheer and glowy, or you can make it a little bit more pigmented and not as glowy. But I mean, there's a 6-month expiry on this once it's opened, and I've had it for a year, but it's still working fine. I just love the kind of versatility of that. Again, like you could just tap a little bit on your lips, you could put a bit on your eyelid. Yeah, I couldn't not mention this because it's exactly the kind of highlighter that I love, something that's kind of versatile. I like that really kind of like nice pink tint to it. Even though I haven't used it as much as the other two, it's just a product that brings me joy when I use it, and particularly the brush that goes with this. That brush is incredible. Like if you like a good brush, I highly recommend just buying that brush on its own. It's so good. I'd love like a few of them because I use it so much. I use it to contour, I use it to apply blush, highlighter, everything. It's such a great brush. Definitely recommend this. The only thing about this is it's only available to buy in the US and the UK, maybe Canada as well, but I'm not 100% sure. So this is just harder to get. Like the Auric and this are just a little bit more difficult to get, in which case the Lisa Eldridge is going to be the one to go for. If you are in the UK or the US, this is such a beautiful product. If you like to kind of play with your makeup a bit and customize your products, then this is really such a fun product to use, and it looks amazing on your skin as well. Powder. The most boring of all products. I don't even want to talk about it, it's so boring, but I do have two products that I want to share. So yeah, powder, I just like have zero interest in powder, but look, this is, you know, somebody might be interested. These are two powders. One of them I haven't had for as long. The other one I've had for, I think I've been using it for over a year. The Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, but it is just a loose powder, but just a really great one. It's one of those powders that is just very blurring, smoothing, quite undetectable, and sets your makeup. It's just a really great powder, and I know that this is one of those kind of cult products, and I can understand why, because it really just works very well. I'm probably more of a loose powder person than a pressed powder. I do like both, but I do probably prefer a loose powder. I've used about half of it. It's expensive, but it will last you for such a long time, and that's what I love about loose powders, is they just last a lot longer. If you want to get a similar effect to a pressed powder, you could apply this with a powder puff, and that will give you a similar effect. So I do like that versatility of a loose powder. So again, I don't know anyone who is in the market for a powder, because I feel like powders last such a long time, and I don't think it's anything that people are particularly excited about buying, because it's just such a boring product. But I have combination skin and I get quite oily on my T-zone throughout the day, so I always will set with powder. So that's definitely a top one for me. The other one is one that was sent to me. Well, that one was too, but this is the NARS Light Reflecting, what is this called? NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder Pressed, and this is the translucent shade. So this is like a white, or I guess a translucent powder with, it has, I don't know if you can see it, it has a kind of a slight pearl to it. And I guess that's the light reflecting aspect. Like it's not it just has like a slight, like a pearl, but like a really, really subtle pearl to it. But I really think that this is such a beautiful powder. If you were more of a pressed powder person, it did come with a little powder puff as well, but I don't know where that is. But that is a lovely powder. And if I do want kind of more of a glow, and maybe if I'm wearing like a powder blush, I might use this because it's kind of a little bit more of a glowy powder, whereas the translucent loose one is more just like a kind of a standard setting powder that has no glow to it. But yeah, that's something I never would have bought, and I don't think I've really heard anyone talk about it, but it is a lovely powder. I do have the loose version of this that they also sent me, which I haven't tried yet because I am trying to get through the Laura Mercier one, and I have 3 other powders that I'm trying to get through, so I haven't opened it yet. That was like a surprise powder to me, and they kind of have different use values but the same, but different. You know, it could be worth having both. I mean, and I'd say if you like the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush flawless one, which I do really like, then you probably would like that. So that's just something I thought I would mention. I do want to briefly mention I didn't include a setting spray or a fixing spray because there wasn't really any that I loved. Like, there was none that I would necessarily buy again. I still love the Urban Decay All Nighter. That's probably my favorite one. I do really want to try the Charlotte Tilbury one because I've heard that that is excellent, and I was thinking for my wedding makeup maybe that would be a good one. I know they have a small bottle of that, so I might get the mini version just to try it because I obviously want my makeup to last as long as possible and look as good as I can on my wedding day. So I was thinking about trying that. But other than that, like, I've had the one from YSL, I've had a MAC Fix Plus Stay Over. That was like their setting spray, and there was nothing that really hugely stood out to me that I would buy again, so I just didn't include a setting spray. I've used the ones I have that I've been sent, but none of them were like a holy grail, I have to buy it again. So that's still Urban Decay for me. So yesterday when I finished filming and put everything away and sat down to eat my lunch, I realised that I forgot an entire category of favourites. And not only did I forget an entire category, I forgot the most important, my favourite category, lip products. So I honestly don't know if I'm going to talk about all of these because otherwise this is going to be just like a whole separate video. See, I had all the products on the table in front of me, but there wasn't enough room for the lip products, and I was like, oh, I'll get those after and I'll do that at the end. Of course, I forgot. I didn't. It was 3:30 and I was really hungry, so I quickly dismantled everything and went to make lunch. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to begin with the lip liners. I'm not a huge lip liner person, but I have certain shades that are my favourites that I go to all the time, and there are a couple of products that I discovered for the first time this year. So first up are the Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shade lip pencils. I have 1C and 1W. I would say 1C I wear more because I have more cool toned lips. My lips are actually quite cool toned, so I use 1C more than 1W. I actually really want to get 0N or 1N, but they just seem to be always out of stock, and I can't really justify buying another lip liner because I have so many. But I really love this formula. I probably prefer this formula to her other formula purely because this is, to me, is more like a day-to-day pencil, where the other ones are more like if you're wearing a stronger lip product all day, like one of the Velvets. The other lip liners are more long wearing, whereas I usually just want some definition. So these are more my style. These are more like the pencil style of liner, where the other ones are like more like a gel, like a long wearing formula. So I highly recommend those. They're so easy to use, so easy to blend, and the shades are great. I thought 1W might be too warm on me, but it's actually great for when I am wearing a more warm leaning lip product, so highly rate those. NYX lip pencils are some of my favorites. The one that I used the most this year, I would say, is Nude Truffle, and I'll do like swatches of all of these at the end. But Nude Truffle, yeah, it's just a really good neutral. It's what I think the Lisa Eldridge 0N shade would be similar to. It looks similar. That is a great shade if you are as pale as me for just gently defining and kind of shaping your lips a little bit. And then there's one that is a little bit deeper than that, and this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish in the shade Cappuccino. So yeah, the Rimmel one is great and it's so inexpensive. And if you are, I suppose, fair to medium skin tone, this is a nice one for, again, just defining your lips and adding some kind of shape and shadows to your lips. Another favorite is the Kevin Aucoin Unforgettable Lip Definer, and this is the shade Divine. This just seemed to be always sold out, so it was really hard to get, but I've had it for over a year now and I love it. It has a brush on this end, and it's actually one of the few products with a brush on the end that I actually use because the brush is really good for blending it out. But again, it's a similar shade to the, probably to the NYX one. It's the most similar, but a great kind of a neutrally shade for defining your lips. The last two are K.J.Brand, and I have the Romand Lip Mate Pencil, and this is the shade Taupey shade. It's literally called Taupey shade, and it's number 05. It's a thicker nib on it, and this is kind of more to, it's kind of more to like define your lips but kind of neutralize them if you want to do like gradient lips, which is a product that I did not know I needed or would use, but it's just really great. That's more of, as the name suggests, a taupe shade. And then I have the Lilybyred Lip Blending Stick, and this is the shade, I think it's the shade Grin with me or something. And this is a little bit more cool, kind of rosy shade, but this is almost exactly my lip shade, and this is great for defining your lips but not adding color, and it blends out really easily, so it's kind of hard to tell that you're wearing lip liner. And I use that if I'm doing like a lip stain and then a gloss or something like that, because it just kind of adds definition without adding color. So those are two formulas that I think are great if you like that kind of a lip style of doing your lips. Those are great, and they're so inexpensive as well, and I've just used them so much this year because I'm not really, I feel like when I line my lips, quite obviously they just look, I feel too done, and I have, you know, big enough lips as it is. So I think when I overline them, or when I line them, they look almost kind of fake. So I, you know, most of the time don't really line my lips, but those are my favorites anyway, and they work really well for my skin tone. And I would love to do a video on all of my favorite lip liners and compare them all. And I might do a blog post swatching all of my lip liners side by side, because that's something that I have found really helpful when I've been looking for shades that will work on my skin tone. I've just done some swatches of those so you can see the comparisons. So this is Lisa Eldridge 1C, this is 1W, this one is NYX Nude Truffle, this is Rimmel Cappuccino, then we have Kevin Aucoin Divine, Romand 05 Taupey shade, and Lilybyred Grin with Me. So that's just to show you the array of shades, and you can kind of see that these are kind of pink, warmer, a little bit more cool, neutral, cool. So hopefully that is helpful. I could do a video just on my favorite lip products because I have so many favorites, and it's my biggest weakness when it comes to makeup. I just love lip products. So yeah, let's get into it because there are a few. I'm gonna start with my favorite lip brand, and I think that you'll know what that is, and it's Lisa Eldridge. You know, when I went back and looked through the posts that I've made and the looks that I've done, that was the #1 brand that I've used the most. And she had a couple of lip releases this year. There was the Balm Embrace Melting Lip Colour, and then obviously the Rouge Experience, but I won't include that because I just got them last week, so I can't say that they're favourites. But the ones that I used, it's kind of a weird mixture. One of the shades that I used the most is, and this is sad because it's discontinued, but she has another similar shade. This is the Gloss Embrace in the shade Silent Sun. Obviously, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's not available to buy anymore, but she has another one in this kind of iridescent formula called Dancing Rose, which I have as well. I had to mention it because it was one of my favorites, but it's discontinued. So again, it's kind of pointless mentioning it, but I just wanted to mention that I love the formula. Next from Lisa Eldridge are, of course, the Balm Embrace. This is just such an easy lipstick formula to wear. I would say my most worn shades are Épanoui and Sweet Fig. So Sweet Fig is a little bit more kind of a mid brown, and I'll just do a swatch. And then Épanoui is a little bit more pink. I have the 5 shades. They sent me the 5 shades. I'd say those two are my most used, but I think like in terms of favorites, I love Metropolis because it's so that's Sweet Fig and this is Épanoui. You can kind of see the color palette next to the liners that I tend to go for. I actually love these two mixed together. I often do that because it's a really nice combination. That mixture of warm and cool, but they are such an easy formula to wear. If you have dry lips and you want a little bit of color, but you want something that's going to nourish your lips, that's such a lovely formula. Just a really easy, lovely, beautiful formula, and the shades are really nice as well. Next for Lisa Eldridge, I have 3 of her other lipsticks. I have 2 of the Luxuriously Lucent lipsticks, and I would say my 2 most worn this year have been Le Mépris and then Spirited Away, which has come back into rotation. That's Spirited Away and that's Le Mépris. There is a bit of a theme there. You can kind of see it's nearly going in line with the lip liners. Spirited Away is one of those like really face brightening shades that can be worn with like minimal face of makeup, and it just looks like you're, you know, wearing a little bit of something, but it's not very obvious. And that formula is so nice as well. It's so nourishing and just, again, really easy to wear. But I just love Spirited Away. My sister has used one of these up fully. She loves this shade. It's really nice on her, but it's just a really easy shade to wear, and I just find myself going for it a lot, like on a day-to-day basis when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. It's just so easy to wear. And Le Mépris is one of those ones that's like my go-to for when I'm doing, I want something that is gonna pair well with kind of a more obvious eyeshadow. So it's just a lovely kind of a peachy pale shade. It's like a 60s kind of a pale shade, and it just is beautiful. And you can kind of make it work if you have deeper skin because it's not like opaque. It has a sheerness to it, that formula. So it's just really easy to wear. And lastly, one of the ones that I wore a lot during the summer, and I took it on holiday with me. I don't wear it as much in the winter, but it's just like the perfect summer shade, and it's Strawberry Shock. It's just one of those shades. I don't have anything else like it. It's like a I mean, you can kind of see that's literally all I have left. Well, I mean, it's still a lot, but I've used it so much. It's just such a gorgeous pinky kind of a neon red. It's one of those shades that just makes you feel happy when you wear it because it's just so beautiful. It's like my favorite summer red. It's just so gorgeous, and I would normally have worn Velvet Morning a lot, but since that has been discontinued, this has become like my favorite kind of alternative red to ribbon because it's just so beautiful, and it just looks great on everyone because it's so brightening, and it's like a balance of red and pink, so it's not too warm or too cool. I also have been wearing the Velveteens quite a lot day to day. This is Muse and Ribbon, and I guess because my Muse and Ribbon are quite old now, I've been using the Velveteens, and I just kind of like apply a little bit and blend them on, and it's just such a nice way to wear those shades. But Muse is a great shade. It just goes with, kind of goes with everything, but it still kind of brightens your face a bit. It's like a kind of a rosewood shade, and of course Ribbon, the classic blue red. So I just love that formula, and I love those shades in particular in that formula. They just work so well, and I found myself going for them a lot. If I wanted a more matte lip and something that would kind of stay a little bit longer, those are just brilliant. If you watched my K-beauty video, you're probably going to know these. I'm not going to talk about them in great detail because I went into a lot of detail in that video, but I just want to mention quickly all of my K-Beauty lip products that I have fallen in love with this year. Obviously, the Romand ones. My favourites are the Glassed in Colour Gloss. And this is the shade Nutty Vague. The names are so funny, but that is it. It's a great neutral shade, and I have a video applying that as well. And then this is the Dutiful Water Tint, and this is the shade Canyon, which is really, again, a nice neutral, but a little bit kind of deeper. And this is great as a lip stain with like a more glossy, clear gloss over the top, which is what I like to do. Such a gorgeous formula and shade. And last but not least, this is Romand Glassing Melting Balm in the shade Buffy Coral. That's it there. So it's similar to the YSL Candy Glaze formula, but I prefer the shades in this, and they're so inexpensive as well. I think they're like €7-8, but this is one that I've used so much since I got it. It's just a gorgeous formula, beautiful shade, and really affordable. So there seems to be a theme with all of these. They're kind of all very neutral lip products, but you know, if you like something, you like it. The next one I'm wearing today, and this is the Peri Pera Ink Glasting Gloss, and this is the shade So What 07. Ooh, so this has a nice big doe foot applicator. It's a really cushiony gloss, really comfortable, lovely kind of a fruity scent. Again, really affordable, and I just love how shiny that is, and it goes with so much. It's really nice. So that's another favorite. Then the other two K-Beauty products that I love are the Fui 3D Voluming Gloss. Again, I mentioned this in my K-Beauty lip video, but it's just such a beautiful gloss. I'm gonna put some on. It's so cushiony, so shiny, so comfortable, the cutest packaging, and really affordable. What more could you want? Last for K-Beauty is the Honey Melting Lip from Nature Republic. I have two of these. This is the shade Fig, and these again are like that kind of click up glossy balm, a very similar formula to the Romand Glassing Melting Balm, but it's just in a different delivery system. And so you just click it up how much you need, and then it doesn't click back down. So it's got that kind of really melty, glossy formula, very comfortable, great shades in this product. And again, this is, I think, like a tenner or less. Just love these. They're so handy. Like, I just throw these in my bag, and I know I can just reapply them, and I don't have to look in a mirror, and I know that my lips are going to feel nice and cushioned and nourished. So that is another favorite. And this is the Clarins Lip Comfort Oil. This is the shade Fuchsia, I think. Yeah, Fuchsia. But I have a few shades of these, and I just love them. This is something that I wear a lot day to day, because it's just so easy and nourishing, especially in the summer if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. This is just a great one to throw on. It just gives it a little kind of a hint of colour to your lips. That smell is so addictive, and I could reapply that again and again, and you can kind of see I've used a good bit of that, and I have like two other shades that are like half full. And I actually went makeup shopping with my niece last week, and she's 13 and she's kind of just getting into makeup, so we went to Heartist together, and it was so fun. And I actually got her one of these a few years ago for Christmas, because she was kind of wanted to try like kind of clear glosses, and she said she's like bought 5 of them since then in the few years, because she just loves it so much. And I totally agree. This I received in Pure. I've received a few of them in Pure, but I've also bought several of them myself, and it's the one thing that I will always buy for friends for birthdays and Christmas, because I know that they're gonna love it. Traditional lipsticks are not something that I've worn a lot this year, but one of the ones that when I was looking through my collection to see what lipsticks I had worn a lot and I had kind of gravitated towards, this is one that is such a lovely shade for a neutral. It's the Victoria Beckham Posh lipstick in the shade Girl, and it's just a really nice neutral brown with a little bit of a hint of pink to it, and it's so nice. Just such a lovely formula. Oh, that is it there. So it's actually very similar to that Romand one, but it's in a lipstick. It's a kind of a nourishing lipstick. Like, the packaging is so gorgeous on that. That was a gift for Christmas from my boyfriend, and it is just such a great shade, and it kind of is one of those lipsticks that I go for when I want something that's not matte and that is neutral. Like, if I'm wearing like kind of like a brown smoky eye or something, it just goes really, really well with those kind of eye looks. And you know, it's expensive, but if you were wanted to get a gift for someone, or if you wanted to put something on your wish list, this is such a lovely lipstick. And you know, the packaging, the shades, they have a really nice array of shades as well, but it's just one that I probably wouldn't have thought that I would use as much as I do, but it's just a great shade. Then another one similar vein to the glosses, the K Beauty glosses and the Clarins, is the Viva Lip Dew, and this is the shade Rosa. It's a dusky pink, but this is a very sheer dusky pink. So again, it's one I wear when I want a little bit more nourishment to my lips and something a bit more, you know, just a sheer wash of colour that's easy to wear. It's just a lovely shade. I love the original shade of this and the cherry shade as well, but Rosa is just such an easy colour to wear, and I just love it. And it's great layered over something as well, because it adds that kind of like really high gloss shine. Last but not least of my lip favourites of the year is the Isamaya Lip Lac in the shade Black Veil. And this probably needs to be thrown away because it's 2 years old now, but it's one of those shades that is so unique. You can put it over another lip product to kind of cool it down a bit. It's got such a lovely shine to it. It's just something really different. I don't have anything like it, and I love the gloss, the scent, how it looks, everything. I do want to get one of the other shades. I really like this look of the silver one, but I'm really happy with this one. So I'm going to keep using it until it smells weird. It's definitely been a favourite of the year, particularly in like the autumn winter months. It's just such a beautiful lip product. So that is all of my lip products. That is it. That is my 2024 makeup favourites and my first yearly favourites video on YouTube, which is really exciting because this is something that I've wanted to do for years. So to finally be doing it is really fun. I just really wanted to talk about my favourite makeup, and I know that I needed to do this because I needed to like get it all out of me, and it's just like so much fun. Like, I was making a list last night of all of my products, and I was trying to think of like, should I include that, should I include that? And I was like, no, I won't, I'm just going to keep it. That is a lot of products that I've just mentioned. So, you know, these are just kind of the ones that really came to mind when I thought about like the things that really bring joy and that I love using and that are easy and reliable and really good value for money. I just was excited to share them. And I will be doing a skincare, hair care, body care, fragrance, tools video next week. And then I'll be doing a miscellaneous favourites, and I'm also going to be doing an empties at the end of December. I will have my last empties blog post of the year, and I'm going to do a video to coincide with that. Thank you for watching or listening, and I really appreciate all the comments, all the likes, and all the new subscribers. It's been really fun to go on this YouTube adventure this year. It's been something that I've wanted to do for such a long time, so I'm really glad that I just bit the bullet and did it. Even though I don't have the best lights or camera or space to film, I just really wanted to do it, and it's really been such a fun hobby for me. If you're not subscribed, please do like the video and leave me a comment. Please let me know, what are your favorites of the year? What are your favorite makeup products that you've tried in 2024? Are there any of these products that you have tried? Does your opinion differ from mine? Are there any products you think that I would like? Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think and what your favorites are, because I always love to hear what other people's favorites are. It's how I found some of my favorite products. It was other people's recommendations. So yeah, do let me know. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to support my content. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week with another video. Goodbye.